So as you can see, there's the nacelle from yesterday that goes underneath the support beam, and this is the Cuddy built one. As you can see, they are very different products. So I just want to take a little video to show you kind of what they look like, so that when you're building them, I couldn't find any pictures, or, well, I did, but I need, you know, like stuff like this or videos. I'm going to do one with it installed too. So this one here, so these things, these go here into the beam, but you really, I don't know how you get a tiny motor, like you don't have much space. Let's see if I can whip around without banging my head too much. You only get a little bit of space here. I don't know what motors are going to fit inside there unless we built everything, unless we built this too close. I don't know, but that's kind of tiny. Anyway, this one that I built here looks a little crooked from the top. I'll have to fix that. I'm just tacking it together. It's going to go in here, and I'll show how I measured it and everything too. This is for the 15 horsepower Yamaha Enduro. It's not going to touch the back beam, but when we mount this in, we're going to, we're going to fix it to the hull, which is, I think, the best way to do it. I think that's why the Gypsies, when they have a motor that's built under the deck, they're built all the way over on one side or the other, because I guess you can't just, I don't think you can hang a motor in the middle of this deck area here. So anyway, that's kind of it. There's the one, much more low profile, and this one's a higher profile. I can't imagine being able to put anything more than an 8 horsepower in that. I've owned a lot of more motors, and that's like the 6-8 horsepower size range. Unless it's just, I did it wrong or something, which is of course always a possibility. Okay, so we're gonna reinforce this one, and then we'll tack it up, and I'm gonna put the motor on, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, so we'll walk into it, so I give you all a view of the motor nacelle. Now the top thing is a little bit crooked. It's not perfectly in there, but I tacked it in, bolted it in just to see what I have to do next. And I want to put the motor on there. There's no way determining whether or not it's going to be the right fit unless you turn it on. But I was always looking for pictures of this and detailed video. Like for this side, we're going to put a beam here, and then we're really going to connect the top of that to the hull. So that's the connection. So both motors will be pushing the boat by the hull principally. And then we've got, or at least in part, and then we've got kind of what it looks like around there. I haven't figured out what happens in front yet. I know there's some, I call it like some kind of like long fairing or something like that goes in there. We need some kind of a splash breaker or a wave breaker. See here, the water line is there. I made it a little bit lower, but I pulled it up a little bit. I hear the motor sits, unless you need an extra long shaft or something. I don't imagine how you're gonna fit an extra long shaft, anything in there. But anyway, that's kind of how it goes. I'll take some videos of the top to see what it looks like. And that's right under the Cuddy, or sorry, the cockpit, Cuddy cockpit. And just tacked in. There's obviously, it's not, we have to take the boat apart again before we put it back together, but we have to at least tack it together to see what we have before we do anything else. Okay, so here's the engine nacelle from the top. I'm going to do one with the engine in it, and I guess depending on how that fits in, you put a gas tank somewhere, or now we have the cockpit locker freed up. I can maybe stand the tank up or put a tank up and put the tank in there. So this is what it's going to look like before we put a motor in. I'm going to hang the motor because I have to see if it's going to fit, if it clears everything. I calculated it out, but there's no way to know until you know, so that's what's next. Okay, so the moment of truth. Teddy, pan over, and the engine is installed. That's technically a two-man job. It doesn't quite fit in easily. I thought we were gonna have to bring it from the top, but I was able to maneuver it in. I don't know how I'm gonna take it out. But let's see if it articulates. I think it does, but let's make sure it articulates the way we need it to. This is not glued in or anything, so I have to go in here and first, wait. This requires like something here. This spring here. It's hard to do here. Okay. Nope, I can't see it. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Every outboard motor has something like this. Okay, so let's see. Well, does it clear? Does it clear at the top? Yes, it does. And then let's see. I might still. There it is. It sits right there. I think that's pretty good actually. I might leave that alone. Might call it a day there. Now we can glass, take a look at me, we can glass and do everything else with this. I have a ring for it, and the dress rings will be okay too. And let's see how she sits in the water. Check the water line. I'm gonna be careful because this is only very modestly tacked together here. Okay. And then the water line, the propeller will be right about there, which is good. Okay, that's perfect. Water lines here, I think, are calculated water lines. So that should be, everything should be perfect. I have this helmet on because, as you can see, I've been hitting my head on a nearly constant basis. It's the little hits. So after the first day I had a headache, decided to get these dollar helmets. Teddy, take one more look, pan around. Okay, good. I'm gonna take some photos of it, how it looks from the top for the future builders. This is the one thing I had a hard time conceptualizing. Now it's done. Okay, cool. Thanks, Teddy.
Okay.
Cut. Okay, it appears we have some success for the most part. It's amazing how strong this nacelle goes from flimsy feeling to super strong once you just screw it into the hull. I could imagine what it would be like when we glass it. I had to take the cover off to get it in. I think I'm gonna still move it up maybe a hair, maybe like a pencil width or two forward, because I really had to struggle to get it in, but looks like it's there. It probably will be. You see how it looks like it's over more on this side to the port side. Probably keep it that way because on this side here are the throttles and all that stuff is all there. So I hope that all fits in. I think that's about, yeah, it's about there. It'll fit just in perfectly. And then the cables will come up and run up through probably underneath through the steering wheel. I'll have to do something with the cable. I'll put a hole to run the cables through or something like that. But looks like I have a success. I don't know what to do with the front yet. I'll have to figure that out tomorrow. But my plan is to build at least these all set. I'll build these out. I might actually go with the plans and use the composite wood. Although I really think that's a pressure treated timber. And we'll wrap it a couple of times in fiberglass to biaxial. I think it'd be really strong, but we'll have to see. I'll ask George about what he wants to do with that, our fiberglass expert. So it's just a little bit tight. I think I might want, and that's what it looks like up. So it clears everything well enough. And I guess it leaves us some room to put like well, I can pick that up to pull it out. Pretty much, I'm pretty happy with the way that looks. And then, it's gonna take up that space there, unfortunately. But what we could do is mitigate that by putting, I think I'm gonna put swivel seats there on each side. So you get like a seating area or maybe a bench seat there, fold up bench seat. So at least you don't lose that as living area or, sitting area. If you can't stand there, at least you can sit there.